3, 2, 1. You're listening to The Sit Down, your home for WNYO's Indie Artist Interviews, with your host,
Hello, and you're listening to WNYO's The Sit Down with your favorite alternative department head, Oriel. And today we have the band All Poets and Heroes. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
So, All Poets and Heroes drove up from Syracuse to come to our little bit of nowhere. How was the drive up?
Not bad. It's kind of pretty.
Yeah. We love that for Oswego.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. If you guys have questions, you can definitely message us on Instagram or on Twitter. So let's get started. So how did you guys come up with the band, and how did you guys meet?
Cory and I met 4 years ago. Cory was doing a web series online for local Syracuse musicians, and I was just finishing up college at Lemoyne College in Syracuse. Mm-hmm. And my college band had just broken up. I was trying to do some solo stuff, and Cory reached out and was like, hey, do you want to do something for this web series? And I kind of jumped at the opportunity. And I was like, man, I like this song, but I kind of want somebody else on it. I know you're a musician. Do you want to jump on the song? And immediately we were just like, all right, this is something. This is cool. It was love at first sight.
Was it like blurry vision and like music and like rushes of emotion?
Pretty much, yeah. It was
like Sailor Moon. You ever see Sailor Moon?
Yes, I'm watching that on Hulu now.
Sailor Moon.
Is that about
Yeah,
me?
so it was cool. And then we've been writing and for the last, almost 4 years now. Yeah.
Now we have a full band, but we had like a lot of
interchanging.
tumultuous times there.
Oh, it wasn't always that bad. But yeah, we had a lot of interchanging members, but we have a solid band right now behind us.
A full band.
Yeah.
It's nice to have like a full band such as the two of us. Takes the pressure off a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so how did you guys come up with the name All Poets and Heroes? I know that originally your band name was Walden, right?
Yeah.
I did my research. And that you let your Facebook fans vote for your name. What, do you guys remember what the other name options were?
One of them was Colorful Lungs, which I really liked. That was a close second.
Ooh.
And then that might be in the
Former
future.
Inhabitants.
Sound a little death metal-y though. So.
Yeah.
And then there's I don't know. There's no one. Obviously, that one got the least votes. I don't remember that one.
But the reason we picked those names, Colorful Lungs was kind of its own thing. But the other names, Former Inhabitants, the other one, and All Poets and Heroes came from actually one of my favorite books, Walden by Henry David Thoreau.
That's what it used to be called. So
yeah,
kind of tie it all together.
And then in the second chapter, there's an interesting line: all poets and heroes are like the children of Mimon and emit their music at sunrise. So it's a really beautiful chapter, but that quote sort of embodied
it. Music.
Yeah, it has to do with music,
and
then All Poets and Heroes was chosen.
Dope. That's so cool. How did you guys figure out your sound? I know you guys don't like the concept of like fitting in a genre, but how would you describe your sound to somebody who's just listening to All Poets and Heroes?
With the newer stuff, so the old stuff, we because we were signed like an independent label, it got very confusing with our sound.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it got taken out of our hands, which wasn't like a big deal, but just they were trying to help us hone in the sound. So for a while there, we were kind of lost in limbo, I think, and then we kind of pulled ourselves out of that. And it was very amicable. It wasn't like a big blow up, but we just all kind of separated our ways. We learned a lot about recording, like what we wanted out of music. And so with the new stuff we're recording and trying to release, I think we just kind of really just let all of our influences. We weren't trying to go for like, we want to be a synth pop band or we want to be an indie rock band. Like we just kind of we just want to write music that fits with each other and really tells the story that we're trying to tell. You know what I mean? So we just kind of stopped saying like all the BS of trying to fit into a genre. It's just not that we don't like we get genres. And sometimes our music falls into certain genres or not, but in the end, they were just trying to write music as a whole. So sometimes it's heavier, sometimes it's lighter, sometimes it's depressing, sometimes it's happy and it's, danceable and just kind of goes all over the place. But we try to make it as cohesive as possible. So.
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
I guess that's what our sound is.
Our sound is, it's kind of hard to describe because it's just us. It's just it's not like we always sound like this or that. Like I think.
We're not an electronic band. We're not a rock band, but we have rock songs. We have electronic songs.
Yeah, so it's hard. We kind of just, whatever appeals to us in the moment is kind of like where we're going to go with it. And to be honest, it's whatever fits the song. If we write a song and we're like, we have the skeleton and we're like, wow, that's great. Yeah. We really like that skeleton. It's whatever fits and makes the thing whole in the end.
But that's not to say we don't try to make them cohesive.
No, I agree.
Our newer recordings that we're doing, like we had like 15 or 20 songs. We only have 10 of them. Mm-hmm. And we chose them because we were sitting up all night like crazy just listening to all the songs. And then there's this solid chunk that just fit together. But like I said, some of them are like folksy, some of them are harder rock, some of them are like purely electronic and like drum pads and all that stuff. So
But I
kind
think
of
in
all
the
over the place,
end,
but there's this common theme and a
Yeah.
kind of feel to it all.
and in the end, I think it really does sound like us. It's like, I don't think, not to like pump our own chest or like beat our
No,
own chest
no.
here, but it's just like, I feel like in the end of the day, it really does sound
It's like we were
like
talking
us.
earlier, like we love hip hop. Like Tribe Called Quest definitely influenced this album. Ben Howard, super folksy, definitely influenced this album. I'm super into like Radiohead and Tom York and all that. It definitely influenced what we're recording. You know what I mean? So it's all this stuff kind of amalgamated together to create us.
That's cool.
So-
Can you tell me more about your like your music making process? Because I feel like every like artist or like band has like a process. Do you like fly away to like a Tibetic like mountain?
God,
and then
I wish
come
I
back?
could.
No, sometimes it's me just sitting there chugging down a piano, or him in his room with a guitar, or a couple of songs have been resulted of jams. Well, we take influence from everywhere, you know what I mean? From watching a TV show,
was gonna
listening to a
say.
song on the radio, reading a book, you know, kind of just comes from wherever.
Okay.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, I would say
that's
not
kind of
re-
our process.
I don't, we don't
Go
really,
with the
yeah, we
flow.
don't really have a process. I think it can
We
come
get-
from anywhere.
We get a skeleton that very rough, you know, like basically sitting in a room with a guitar or whatever. And
Yeah.
then if we go in the studio, that's where we kind of get all the meat and potatoes with it. So it's a very sporadic writing process. We're very good at being sloppy and trying to make it look or sound
Professionally
good,
sloppy.
I guess. Yeah. So,
Whole mood. Yes. So that was the beginning segment. Do. Okay, so now
Mario?
Is Mario? We put Mario.
Mario?
I love it.
I love putting Mario things into my interviews.
Yeah.
Just ignore
Love
me.
it.
So let's talk about your EP. When did you guys figure out, like, sit down together and like, yeah, we're gonna make an E EP?
I think it was right after we left.
Well, all from our old label, he told us to do the EP.
Yeah, but we were kind of planning it on the old label, and then we left. Like Cory said earlier, it was amicably. And we were like, yeah, we want to really sit down and record something. And we had like demos and stuff before, but we were like, we should really put our all into this and give it the old college try. And we were working, yeah, I don't know.
We brought in Ulf wanted us, so the label wanted us to do it with like one of their producers. We brought in our own because he was good, but just, you know, we did like a demo with him. Didn't really go how we like necessarily wanted to. So we brought in our own producer to kind of have them work together, and I don't know if that really, things just started to not work out. And then, like we said, it wasn't like a big blow up. There was no fight, but the label was just kind of like, I think you guys would be better if you're doing your own thing. We're like, we agree. And like, we want to go our way. You guys go your own way, and just kind of split like that in the middle of doing this EP. So it was a little chaotic. And then, yeah, we we were already halfway through it, so we're like, screw it. I guess we gotta finish it now.
Yeah.
But we had our producer with us. So we brought in Matt. He was really good. And but like we said earlier with the whole genre thing,
Yeah.
we kind of started to get very tunnel vision on being like this
Synthy pop.
synthy. We made a reference to the 1975. Yeah. And we like them, but I don't think we necessarily sound like them. At certain times, maybe we do. And then we just kind of got, like I said, tunnel vision. It's like, all right, that's going to be
Yeah.
your sound. But it wasn't genuine because we weren't being us, you know? And I think that's why,
Well, it's taken out of our hands a little bit too, but yeah.
it just it didn't feel very... We still care about songs. We still play them live. We play them live how we feel they should be done.
So they're a little different if
So-
you come see us live.
Yeah.
Is that an invitation? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. You should come see us live.
So yeah, the EP. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job of being a promoter of our band right now because I'm like
No, it's
pooping. all
the
over it.
songs
But
are still good.
The
but
songs
yeah, I
are good.
think
The recordings were good. It just
not what
if
we
you-
wanted.
If you listen to our EP and listen to the stuff we're working on now, there's going to be a big difference.
Okay.
You know,
How did you guys figure out what you wanted to name your EP, or was that out of your hands?
that was from you.
They're both
No,
pointing at each
EP.
other.
Oh no,
EP,
the EP.
EP, not the album.
Yeah, that's so the chapter that we were referencing where we got all poets and heroes from. The chapter is called "Where I Lived and What I Lived For." So we just changed it to "we" because it was an us thing. It wasn't an I thing. So we just made it "we," where we lived for and what we. I don't know. I already messed it up, but yeah,
How poetic.
that's
Okay.
us.
Keep it simple, Rob.
So let's start talking about your album because you guys are planning your album right now.
Yeah.
So how's that process going? I know you're not flying into a mountain to go like figure out and write this out. So you guys are like smashing out a piano, writing on a guitar. Like what's going on?
Most of it's already. It was weird. We kind of like with the EP. We did this tour, tried performing. It didn't really go well. So at the end, I was just like, let's just do an album. Like we learned a lot in the recording process. We worked with producers, so we kind of like had a good idea, but also like I said, we want to just take a lot of the influences that are personal to us instead of what people think we should be.
Yeah.
We just want to apply that. So instead of sitting in a studio and punking out and worrying about dollars, because that's very expensive in the studio, and we're doing it on our own dime, we just did it remotely. We did one day in the studio with all drums. We did like 10 hours in the studio one day, and we got
did
that
drums and piano.
Oh, drums, upright bass,
yeah,
and
piano.
piano. But that was the main thing, is get drums out of the way. And then we've just been kind of doing it remotely. One of the guys from Subcat Studios in Syracuse, who we just are really good friends with, he was like, I really want to be involved in the project. He's like, so I'll follow you guys wherever you want to go and charge you like my personal going rate, which saved us a ton of money. And it was just more fun to be creative in that space because we're in different rooms, like we went to our friend Tammy's house, so she has like this like huge house.
Beautiful house.
It's like this 1950s style huge house. So we were just like, it just gave us like this very nostalgic feeling. And then we went to Jeremy's house, which is out in the middle of the woods and nowhere. So we're really surrounded by nature.
Yeah, it was super inspirational.
And we've been doing it for like the past 6 months. So we started at the end of the summer and it went into winter. So I think that definitely influenced the music, like emotionally, the mood.
There's a long winter. You guys experienced it.
And
it was a long winter.
The album's it's interesting. It's very it's definitely more us than anything we've done. So it feels good. Even if people hate it, we feel good about it. So screw it.
I think that's all that really matters. As long as you guys like it, we as
yeah.
listeners will enjoy that you guys are happy.
Yeah.
So you said that you were making your album in like different houses. Do you feel like aesthetics and like surroundings really influences what you guys are creating now?
Well,
or do you feel like your sound is just your sound no matter where you are?
The songs were written, like we said, we had the songs written. So like that was already done. Like and we, like I said, for like I was saying earlier, we just found the 10 that worked and made them into the album. But that was just like laying down like the skeleton of it. Like we'd go get drums, bass, guitar, and scratch vocals. I think that's pretty much what we did. So the production values just came after. That was definitely influenced by where we, because that was a lot different. Like the songs we already had like down in our heads. And like we knew what we were going for, but producing it and throwing all these like cool sounds and textures, that was definitely influenced by being in a lot of different spaces.
Yeah. I think for me too, personally, I was more comfortable in that setting. Being in a studio can be really intimidating. There's X amount of dollars on the line, and if you don't get it now, that's how much you can like put that into dollar terms very quickly because the price is so expensive. And then just being in your friend's house and Jeremy, the engineer, was so cool. Like, of course, he was following us around. It just took the stress off of anything.
We'd stop. We ordered pizza like the first day. We'd do it on guitars. We just had a couple of beers. We went outside for a smoke and just hung out. You know what I mean? It was very relaxing.
What was on your pizza?
I'm pretty simple. I'm just cheese and pepperoni guy.
Okay, I have to get the hard questions out of the way.
Sure.
I do like anchovies. I don't like them on pizza, though.
Interesting.
It's weird.
That's weird.
I'll get them with them, but I'm sorry.
No, I like just pepperoni too. I actually, if I can get like a meat lovers.
Well, wait, let me ask you: do you like pineapple on your pizza?
No, I'm allergic to
I
pineapple, so I avoid that. I know. We'll have a whole conversation later.
I was gonna walk out right now.
Talk about it later.
But you were talking about recording in like different houses and being comfortable.
Yeah, it was just it was really stress free, and I think it felt more okay to try something and make a mistake. So it's like when filling up the sound, it was like.
We're much more experimental.
We could try it, and then if it was dumb, we could just look around the room. And people be like, "Yeah, it's pretty dumb." And we're like, "All right, cool. I just won't do that." And it didn't feel like
because we didn't have like interns and all these other engineers in there because it was just us. Like we weren't afraid to say, "Hey, dude, that sounded like complete garbage. You should never do that again."
Yeah, but nobody. I think my
mean?
favorite thing is nobody said no. Everybody's like, "Well, let's try it," which was really fun because last time in the studio, I mean. Our producer was like,
we'd sit there and discuss it for 20 minutes and decide not to do it. It's like, well, now we just wasted a half
hour.
Or
our producer would be up super late and then be ticked if we were like, well, we don't want to keep that part. And he's like, well, I stayed up till 4 a.m. doing this. And we were like, well, nobody asked you to, 1, and 2, like, but, and then we got into arguments. And this time there was no argument.
Is like, I kind of took the reins of being a producer and like I was staying up really late doing this stuff. But again, I think that is better because it's our personal work, so you're much more.
Well, but it wasn't like you were just coming in and be like, this is a part of the song. You were like, you would also show it to me the day before, or send me like a phone recording, and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, well, let's try it. Let's see what we can get out of this.
Basically, it was a lot more fun recording.
Way more fun.
Sorry, we went off on a whole thing there.
It's an interview. You talk, I just listen.
Yeah.
So you were talking about your recording process. How do you know when a song like sticks? How do you know like that's making the album?
Kick in the gut.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really, that's it.
It's a gut
when you
feeling.
get it all done, and then you listen to it all the way through, and if there's any like animosity or kind of like, I feel like that's like we're like, all right, like do we still have to figure it out, even if we don't know what it is. So it's like, no, it's not done yet. So, like I said, like I was saying with the whole track listing having 10 songs, we originally had it listed as I think 14. That was on a 12, and then it got whittled down to 10. And that was actually because I was kind of drunk, and I was just listening to the song, and like I was switching up track listing, blah blah blah, and finally I found this one chunk of just 10 in it, and like at the end I like had that kick in the gut, and all the songs felt right. All the songs felt right. I mean, there's little like mixing issues, but
Yeah.
you know, as a song and as a whole in the collective like piece of art, it just felt really good. So I was like, I think that's the album. There you go.
That's great.
So-
He did that to me 3 times, by the way. He would text me like 3 in the morning and be like, this is it. And then like 3 days later, like, no, this is it. And then eventually we
that
settled.
last night I had it and I texted him. I was like, if I text you again, just disregard. I was like,
Yeah.
this, I
He
promise
had to like
this
warn
is
me.
it.
He was like, in this state, I know that I will try and do this again. You need to just be like, no, you did it. You're good.
Yeah.
But
So after he's texted you the 4th time, when do you confirm? And then it's good.
normally I just listened to it. I would go through and do it
Okay.
on my own. And it was like, okay, so I went to bed at a normal hour. And no, I'd wake up and I'd wake up to the text message. And before I even respond, I would just go through and play the rough tracks that we had and be like, does this work for me or not? And then I would just be like,
And the last one, I think we just both unanimously kind of agreed. Like, and then we actually, so the new guys, so our other guitarist, Zach, who just joined in,
Yeah.
he put in parts. We loved so much, we went back and re-recorded them after we already finished a lot of them. And we sent them to them. You know, we just got the collective kind of working together. We all agreed that this is what works the best. So
yeah.
That's so cool. It's nice to hear like the process.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about tour really quick. You guys went on tour last summer, right? How was tour?
it was good.
Tour's great.
We wanted like a May tour in the summer. We wanted a May tour in the winter.
Oh, okay.
So
But summer is always
summer
more
was
fun.
better because we got to travel a lot further because of the weather, you know.
Yeah,
What
we
was
got to
your
go to
favorite stop?
Cleveland. Every time.
Every time, actually, Cleveland always. I've talked to a lot of people on tour, and I feel like Cleveland gets a bad rap. And if anyone from Cleveland's listening, sorry, I was
Love
gonna
your
swear.
city.
I love Cleveland a lot.
Cleveland.
It's a fun town, and we have some really good friends out there. There's this band called Person Places Things, which are really good buddies of
Yeah.
ours. They're super like, I don't know how to describe them. Like it's just
No, it's just real good rock. It's like
the Strokes meets like Against Me, kind of.
yeah, they're just good, dude. And the
Yeah.
music's like sometimes it's really tongue in cheek, and it's just yeah, they rip.
But
man.
they're our buddies, so we love stopping on Cleveland. And then on our summer tour, we got to go out to Denver and play a festival, which was awesome. Denver is a fun town. We got to go hiking and, you know, do some things that made the hiking more fun. And it was just, it was a really good time.
It was great. Yeah, Denver was really, really fun.
Yeah, Denver, Cleveland, DC.
I like
is
Washington,
really
D.C.
good.
Yeah,
DC
DC is a
fun
great town.
What makes them your favorites? Like the energy,
The
like
energy
the
of the
venue.
crowd, the city itself, just like I said, with Denver, we got to go exploring the mountains. With DC, you're surrounded by a lot of like politics and history and stuff like that, and also it was just a fun town.
Yeah, I think it's also the way people treat you at the shows. Like I think when we were in Denver, the sound guy was really professional and really down to earth, and like they treated us as if we were, because we sort of helped open the festival. But he treated us as if we were the headlining act. And
Yeah.
that's always
Yeah.
nice. And you don't always get that.
He even said, I remember he was saying we're on stage, like he's like, I want you guys to like feel like you played the biggest stage of your life.
Yeah.
And we're like, cool.
So when people treat you right too, yeah, it's always good. And then DC was a blast. And then even that guy, the sound guy, came up to us after and was like talking to us about how are things. And he was talking to us about the set and how the night went. And he was giving us like the lowdown on people coming in or people going out. And that was actually cool because he gave us a really big compliment. And
And then
was like,
Cleveland, we played.
you know.
What was that one room we played? It was like 400 people. Mm-hmm. It was a weird stage, but the sound guy there was kind of mean to us. But
I can
was
see
just,
it too when I can't
Yeah,
think
sound
of
guy
it.
there was mean.
Winchester?
Winchester, I think. He was kind of like a little bit standoffish, but he was good. He
was really
And the
good.
stage was like perfect, and the crowd was incredible. And like we said, it was like 400 people, so it was like a lot of energy. It was very sweaty, but it was
great.
awesome. And like we were playing with our friends, so like stuff like that is what makes shows really
Yeah.
good. You know.
Do you guys have a dream venue? Like this is when you get to email your mom and be like, Mom, I made it.
Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Red Rocks. Yeah.
For me, Red Rocks. I've always wanted to play the Red Rocks.
I like smaller, like more intimate ones. Like a stadium would be cool, but like New York City Ballroom and stuff like that, the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, that would
Yes.
be a dream. I
As a
would love-
Manhattanite, I approve this
Yeah.
message.
Yeah.
Hammerstein Ballroom is probably my top. If we ever got there, even if people were saying we sucked, and there was like 10 people in the crowd, I'd be like, we made it.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess just like
we're
people
here.
like Nathaniel Rateliff and like Ben Howard have talked about when they play the Red Rocks. There's
Oh,
just
I
something
Incubus
magical.
played Red Rocks, and they said it's just because you're surrounded by all the natural like.
Yeah, there's something special about it. But yeah, I do agree. I actually prefer the small rooms too. But just I feel like if we got invited to headline Red Rocks, I'd be like,
Oh yeah, I would not say no to that.
I'm not saying you
We're
say no,
busy.
but like
I think
to
we're a
me,
little above Red
to
Rocks.
me that would be like, all right, Mom,
Yeah.
we did it. That would be that moment for me.
That's when you email Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was telling you guys off air before we started the interview that I've been doing a lot of like research about like tour culture. But do you guys have like tour traditions, like traditions that you do like before you go on stage or like with your audience?
We all just kind of meet up and say, I have a personal thing. I don't know if I can say it on air, but I kind of just, if I'm ever nervous, I just take a deep breath and I say like F it to myself and then just go on there. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's very simple, but it gets me like a good mindset. Kind of the thing like, whatever happens is going to happen, just go and have fun with it. Together, we all just usually have a beer. We go outside usually beforehand. Maybe we try not to talk about like trouble spots in like a song. Mm-hmm. If we do, like usually we'll just be like, guys, just like take it easy. Everyone keep an eye on each other. We're pretty boring.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of great tour traditions yet. I think that's going to come with time too. Mm-hmm. Also, the one tour tradition I know, Cory drives and that's it.
I do love driving.
He loves to drive. He drove for 16 hours one day.
Yeah.
16 hours?
Yeah. I think he took a break for like the last 2.
Louisville, Kentucky to the middle of Kansas at like 4 a.m.
We love a dedicated king.
Yeah.
Driving for that long. Yeah. Well, who's your shotgun? Who's like playlists and snacks?
Rob.
Duh.
Oh, yeah.
What snacks do you feed him? Because I'd be like,
whatever he wants.
I'm pretty simple. Well, Uncrustable PB&Js are.
We get a bunch of Uncrustables. They're the best.
Uncrustable PB&Js. Wait, are you a chunky peanut butter man or a smooth peanut butter man?
I'm a chunky peanut butter man, but an Uncrustables, you got to be classic grape. I'm raspberry or a strawberry jelly with chunky peanut. I'm very specific. For Uncrustables, usually on tour, I'm starving, so I'll take whatever I get.
What about you when he has to feed you for some odd reason?
I don't know.
When he has to give you snacks.
I feel like it's oh no, we did what did we do? Bugles. That was fun.
Bugles, that's a good one.
He would stick them on my finger and then I would eat them.
That's not true. That's not true.
You're so true.
I did it one time. But
I'm trying to make it more of a thing.
That's the tradition I want.
Yeah, he sucked my finger as he bit it off. I was like, what the hell?
Wait, do you guys have like those weird what are they called? Like lists of like requests of things that you want in your room, like in your green room? No, you don't want puppies like Mariah Carey?
No.
I mean, that'd be great, but
a bottle. I've always said I want Don Cheadle to be in the room at all times, but he has yet to make an appearance. So I don't know why Don Cheadle, but I want him there.
You do have a weird obsession with Don Cheadle.
Why?
He loves Don Cheadle.
Have you ever seen Hotel Rwanda?
Yeah. Yes, I have. It's one of my favorite movies.
It's such a good movie. Or Ocean's 11, where he's the demolitions expert.
Demo guy.
So if you had an opportunity to perform in front of Don Cheadle,
I wouldn't be able to. I would lose my mind. I'd poop my pants. I think it's War Machine, guys. It's War Machine.
Yeah.
I love that that's like your like
oh my god
pinnacle. Who's your pinnacle person? Like if you got to perform in front of one person.
Well, there's another. There's Aubrey Plaza too, because I'm in love with her. But I don't know about
I don't know. I never thought about it. He's just had this obsession with Don Cheadle since I've met him, and it's just the funniest thing.
You don't have an equal obsession to nobody. Nobody.
No one.
I mean,
there's gotta be one person.
No, I don't think I do.
Really?
I'm gonna like text you later, be like, we figured it out. But right now, I don't know.
Ben Howard.
That's different. That's so different.
Do you know who Ben Howard is?
Because he's in the world of music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be somebody outside of the world of music.
Yeah,
I feel like that's different because that's a different intimidation factor of like he's a crazy talented musician. I've looked up to him since I discovered him at 17 years old. Mm-hmm. Like it'd be way different than like just like like Don Cheadle to me is not in the world of music, so it's like different.
You don't know that.
True, I don't know. I don't know anything about Don Cheadle.
He could be dropping mixtapes left and right. We haven't heard them yet.
He's actually MF'd
He could be like a freaking prodigy at piano or something.
True.
You know?
You never know.
But either way, I just feel like Ben Howard is a little different for me. Because I was like you and Tom York. Like if you just had to perform solo in front
I'd still
of
do it. I would be terrified. I'd still do it.
Yeah. No, I guess then Ben Howard. If we're gonna do it, it's Ben Howard.
Tom York's kind of a stoic person, so I'd be a little nervous.
That's a really politically good way to put that. Politically correct way to put that.
Okay, now on to the fun part of the interview.
That wasn't it because we were just dying.
I think the whole part has been fun. I'm going to ask you guys some random questions because I like having little bonus parts.
Cool.
So I'm going to ask you guys like basically kindergarten questions, like something you would ask like, or for like, as everybody knows, first day of classes when they ask, what's your name and your major? I'm going to ask you like those basic questions. Yeah. So what's your favorite color?
Brown.
Brown? Why brown? I've never heard
no one ever goes for brown.
So you're just like going down with the brown.
Well, I like very like earthy tones to like dressing. I guess I gauge off that. What do I like dressing?
You're wearing blue right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not wearing, but normally he does wear earthy tones.
I have some browns, yeah.
I have some browns.
Blue for me.
Blue.
I've always liked blue.
Okay, favorite food. I'm guessing Uncrustables, or is that just a tour thing?
That's just a tour thing. Favorite food?
Yes.
I could literally eat cereal any time of day.
Okay.
Cereal.
So
we had a whole March Madness about cereal in this office.
Who won?
Oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
That makes a ton of sense.
Exactly. Somebody tried to put Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles is close, but
no, CTC all the way.
CTC.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
Crunch.
CTC. So we used to call it in college.
You can't do Fruity Pebbles. You like fruity milk
I like
cereal?
cereal.
know,
I
I'm
like
saying,
Fruity
like, they're a
Pebbles,
close
but I
second.
prefer.
I like Cinnamon Toast.
Okay.
If I had the choice between Cinnamon Toast Crunch Fruity Pebbles, obviously I'm
Yo,
going.
you want to know how
Okay.
lame I am though?
Yes.
Because I'm like trying to eat better. I bought Raisin Bran Crunch, and weirdly enough, I'm kind of like absolutely into it.
I think because you're training your body to like it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like an old man every morning. I get up, I'm like, oh, my back hurts. Let me get my Raisin Bran Crunch. But cereal for me, if I had to pick, because I can eat it any time of day. I don't care. I will eat a bowl
Well,
of
I
cereal.
told you mine. Strawberry jam and country peanut butter
There you go.
on wheat bread.
Oh, on wheat bread.
Yes, I'm an aristocrat.
We have a healthy
I'm
balance.
an aristocrat.
Okay, favorite animal.
Penguin. It's my favorite animal. I love
Fox.
penguins.
Would you be okay becoming that animal, or just
Yes,
like you?
a penguin. Of course.
That's the most
He's way
aggressive
too
he's been all
excited.
interviews. Yes, I will become a.
Have you
Why
ever
a
seen
penguin?
Happy Feet?
Yeah, that's a perfect representation of all penguins in the penguin community.
Exactly. I would kill to be a penguin.
Okay, and you said
This
a
is,
fox.
he's way more interesting in this whole segment. Yeah, I
love
said a
penguins.
fox. I've always loved Fox and the Hound. It's like my favorite Disney movie.
Oh.
My God.
Is that we have looks across the studio? Do you not like Fox and Hounds? Like, what's your favorite Disney movie
I like
then?
Fox. My favorite Disney movie?
Yeah. Now I'm veering off of my list. This got serious.
Okay, that's my
You know
favorite
what?
like old school Disney
For a
movie.
while,
Okay.
Aladdin was my favorite Disney movie, but it was the
Aladdin's
City of Gold or Sinbad and all that. That was like little kid. Now my favorite one, I like Tangled actually a lot. Tangled I
Interesting.
thought was actually pretty funny.
Fun fact, he worked at the Disney store.
I did work at Disney Store too.
Oh,
That's why I
okay.
went to see Tangled.
It's a good movie.
Favorite
Oh.
Disney movie for you is
That's like old school Disney. Fox
school
and the
Disney.
Hound. New school Disney. I love The Lion King. I always will.
and they're both live actions coming
Yeah.
out. So
It's not. It's
You know
just
what I want to
CGI.
see
It's not
live action of is and that's actually probably my real one, but it's more Tim Burton than Disney. Is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
okay,
That one.
I like this feel. So I think that is wrapping up our interview with All Poets and Heroes. We're going to come back after a short break, and they're going to perform live. So stay tuning in. You're listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York, Laker Radio, your way. Bye, guys. And we're back with the band All Poets and Heroes, and they're going to be performing live in the studio because we have that budget. They're going to be performing Life on the Line. So,
Correct.
right, I've been practicing. Anyway, so tune in, stay, listen, and here's All Poets and Heroes.
You good?
Yeah.
So this is the last day of your life. Behind the wheel, you took no time to decide. They'd have no reason to find the true intentions of the night. And I was on my way to find you. And I can feel time unwinding true. And your relief will come to bind us soon. Yesterday always bore the weight. It's now or never time to tempt fate. Let go the malice and the hate. You were just the boy who never needed saving. And I was on my way to find you. And I can feel time unwinding true. And your relief will come to bind us soon. So soon. Wait, I know we'll find a way for us to escape, away from who we used to be. I know we'll find a way for us to escape, away from who we used to be. I know we'll find a way for us to escape, away from who we used to be. I know we'll find a way for us to escape, away from who we used to be. Just a boy, you were just a boy, you were just a boy who never needed saving. Just a boy, you were just a boy, you were just a boy who never needed saving. We'll find a way for us to escape, away from who we used to be.
Thank you guys so much.
Sloppy at the end.
No, you guys, how dare you? You guys did fantastic. So that was our live performance, our first live performance on the Sit Down by All Poets and Heroes. Please plug what you guys have because you guys are incredible.
Yeah, that song is out. Life on the Line is out on Spotify, iTunes, and everything. Life on the Line by All Poets and Heroes. No, he's still playing.
So
It's
sorry.
like a soft backing for your promo.
Yeah, so if you want to check it out, if you liked it, and new music to come.
Yeah. That's just a
Good.
taste.
Oh, a taste. Please follow them on Instagram. You can find their Instagram on our Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. You're listening to The Sit Down, and now back to your normal scheduled WNYO programming. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.